Hi, my name is Phil Anderson, and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. This is about the fourth take we've had on this video for tonight, and normally we try to do it in one take because my kids are very cooperative and help me shoot this video. But my dog is chasing my cat around, and they keep making noise, and they keep disturbing us. And that reminds me, even though I was going to talk about a protest that's going on tomorrow at the Wisconsin Capitol called Dias Sin Latinos, where Latinos are protesting their treatment at the hands of the two-party oligarchy that has been mistreating them and basically created a plantation mentality in terms of trying to govern them and get their votes. Despite that, which I managed to squeeze in there, dogs and cats chasing each other around is pretty synonymous with the way that our government runs. It's just two different animals chasing each other around. But in this case, they're my pets. In our case, in the case of the United States government, they treat us like pets. They stroke us when we're upset, they feed us, they keep us entertained, they put us back in our kennel, and as long as we don't leave the yard and get in trouble, then everything's okay. The federal government, specifically the two-party political system, treats citizens like just people to be mollified, to be treated as if all they need to do is be entertained and fed. It's the old Roman adage, bread and circuses. Give the people bread and circuses, that's all they need. Well, with our political process, where there's a lot of entertainment, a lot of slander, a lot of lying, a lot of boastful statements, a lot of glamour, a lot of money behind it, that's sort of the circuses part. The bread is the fact that the federal government basically steals tax money from people to feed people. Even though it's cheap, crappy food quite often, people aren't generally hungry in the United States. And as long as people aren't hungry, they're not going to resist. So the federal government and the two-party system is very wise in that regard. They know that as long as people are fed and are entertained by television, by the political process, by cell phones, whatever, that they're probably not going to do too much to resist the tyranny that's being pushed on them by the two-party system. Well, I think it's finally gotten to the point where people are fed up. Congressional approval is at an all-time low. People don't trust Democrats. People don't trust Republicans. People are finally starting to see them as two sides of the same coin, and that is this large oligarchical corporatocracy where big donors and big contractors are controlling who gets elected by giving them money and making them viable candidates. Those people get elected, and then they in turn enact legislation like Obamacare and other things that are really just creatures of the industries that the corporate donors represent. I just posted an article today that indicated, as if we didn't know already, that Obamacare was just a huge transfer of wealth from the people that are working and paying taxes and our descendants to insurance companies. What we thought all along was true. That this, among many other bills enacted by both Democrats and Republicans and presidents of both of those parties, are just ways to transfer wealth from citizens and working people into the hands of people that sponsor those same politicians. It's like cats and dogs, except reversed. In this case, my pets are running around. In that case, as long as we're the pets that the government can tolerate and we're fed and entertained, then we're okay. But it's time that we broke out of that. It's no longer okay that we're sheeple, because we're being sheared. We're being stealed from, we're being abused, and we need to fight back finally. Not violently, but by taking a fresh look at how our government is run, by who's actually running it, by the legislation that's put forward, by the massive amount of regulations that are put on people when they're trying to start businesses and run their lives, and see that it's all just a program of indoctrination and stealing to make us their slaves, so to speak. We work, we labor, we create, they take part of it, and they fool us with this political process that has led to the same two parties being elected to pretty much every major seat at any level of government for 100 years now. It's time to break free. Bernie Sanders talks about a political revolution. There's no political revolution if you vote for a Democrat or a Republican. Vote something else. And the only solution politically, if you really want to be free, and be free of that process, is to vote Libertarian, because we're the only party that is pledged to, that our whole philosophy is getting that two-party system off your back and letting you live your life as you choose, as long as you don't interfere with the rights of other people to do the same thing. Any other government than that has to be consensual, has to be by consent, has to be for the common good, and constitutional. That's all I have for today. Don't forget there's a protest tomorrow at the state capitol. Dias Sin Latinas, very important. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.